Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Sorry about that brief commercial break there. Hopefully, we won't show any pogs anymore, I guess. YouTube does not like pogs. Hopefully, we won't show any pogs anymore.
Why all the discrimination?
Not like pogs.
Yeah, your audio's on again.
Yeah, Doc, you guys are on. You got to mute the stream. You got to mute the stream.
Got it. Sorry.
Muted. There we go.
Yeah, my life.
All right.
My life suddenly is just not quite as fulfilling now that we can't do. Fulfilled is that we can't do the pogs.
I know. God damn.
I agree. Who false flagged us? Who flagged us? I want names.
Yeah, I want to know. Spurgs out there, figure out who did this. We were having so much fun. Rob was about to rip apart a penguin action figure, and we were actually going to start to get into the campaigns that we were going to talk about. But hey, lesson learned, I guess, right? Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us once again. Damn, we had a good viewer rate too before that just decided to crap out on us.
It was a good conversation too. It was a nice conversation, I thought.
I know. You try to have fun on YouTube, and they just say no. Somebody said last night that I just need a D-Live channel, and maybe
we were having too much fun, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
I really thought I had a big crimp in my life when I was going to Catholic school as a YouTube.
Oh yeah, Catholic school holds nothing to YouTube, man.
Nuns have nothing on YouTube.
The worst thing is you just go back like just a bit more than a year, right? People could do anything they want. There way too many people got rich on fucking YouTube way too fucking fast, and then they went, hey, you're not welcome to the rich club. So back the fuck up.
I mean, part of it was the money. I think also part of it was just like the politics and just like the pressure of like the legacy media companies, like the mainstream media companies, that they're like they don't want the
ad war. What is it?
It's the ad war. They just don't want like the competition of like alternate like news sources. You know what I mean? So there's like a lot of like alternate news. It's like propagated.
Yeah, they've been trying to control what's been happening on YouTube, and if you look at it, it's been trying to be like he's saying. They've been trying to turn it into TV now. It's your new cable.
Right.
FCC. I mean, it's your government agencies always want to expand their jurisdiction power, and I'm sure the FCC wants to get its hands on YouTube. So.
Yep, that's true. If everybody wants to go ahead and share this new link out.
Already did.
You already did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say my DMs and my notifications are absolutely blowing up right now. I'm not able to keep track of everything. Yes, shut down for porn.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first
bunch
time.
Of degenerates.
Oops.
That penguin was way too sexy and hot. Those curves there. That belly. He was rocking that daddy bod, and it was too hot for YouTube.
It was a little hot. In hindsight, it might have been a little hot.
Yeah.
3D Rob. I got to read this DM from 3D Rob, and he says, "I know I jokingly mentioned Phil, but I went away to make some food and came back, and YouTube's blocked the vid because of sexual content. What happened? Too much rubbing? Turns out I was right. It was too early for filth.
Food porn.
Yeah, too early for filth. All right, lesson learned. No even partial nudity, I guess, is allowed.
It was just like butt crack and sex.
But I will have to say one thing, Adam. Thank you
for
the pog.
Oh well, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I guess we can talk about pogs. We just can't show it.
I want to say actually thank you for getting it, suspended like that. I mean, for me, it was my first time getting suspended for something, or getting into trouble for something.
So your cherry got popped?
I feel like a virgin.
Well, no longer a virgin, and I'm in the same boat with you. That's my first offense. So luckily, nothing's going to happen. No,
we gotta keep it
no
clean.
worries. Yeah, I just got to make sure that it's.
I was already on a caffeine rush with Duncan. Now I'm like, woo, caffeine and steroids and meth.
Dude,
Oh God!
It's Poggate.
Yeah, you can actually use this for promotion, man. Be like, YouTube tried to take down Tilt, and
really?
we were about to, you were about to make a big announcement about the campaign, and it just everything went tits up.
Well, if you'll let me do it, I will exploit it to the fucking max.
Yeah, I got the your mailing list up on the page now. If you want to go ahead and talk about the book a little bit, I know you said you had some things that you wanted to share as well. We can put your screen share up.
Yes, this before I get started.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You did want to. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Go ahead.
Alejandro Garcia, who is working on the comic book Johnny's Law, he does Uber full time and was in a car accident the other day. His car is no longer safe to drive, and he needs to get back on the road. So I'm doing a fundraiser for him on GoFundMe. If you can donate anything, guys, anything at all, it would be really appreciated. This is not a handout so much as a hand up. We're trying, this guy works his ass off. He has 2 kids. His wife is recovering from surgery, so she can't work right now. And, he's just trying to bust his butt to, put food on the table for his family. So I drive full time for Uber right now. So when I saw this, I'm like, dude, we got to do something because, I know what it would be like if my car got into an accident and I couldn't drive. It would be, bad. So at any rate, I just wanted to put this up first. I know you've put a link to it, and
I got to fix that. I got to put the link back in the
description. Give me just a second here. I will put a link to it in the live.
You got it. It's in the private chat. I got it. Okay,
I'll put one in the live chat just real quick here. So yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Alrighty, let's move on to actually we'll just start with the cover. This is the cover for Tilt. Well, let me just start by saying that this comic book Tilt is not a woke comic. Very far from it. It is the plot makes sense. There's no emotional validating. They're not, the characters are not huge fans of each other, and plenty of non-approved body type, as you can see right here. And seriously, folks, this is the type of person who would hate Tilt. All right. I assume that if you're watching this show, you are not this type of person. Therefore, you should sign up for Tilt. Okay, that's my logic of my comic book. All righty.
Well, how dare you assume the color of their hair?
We might have a blue hair creeping from the shadows, unless YouTube automatically flagged me. It's hard to say.
You never know.
Quick question.
Just real quick. This is Jordi Armengol. He is the artist for my cover. I would have liked to have used him for the whole comic book, but he just cost too much for the first time. My first time out, your first time out, you got to keep costs down, and it could have run me $10,000 to close to $10,000 to hire him, so I couldn't do that. But he's such a great artist. I asked if he could do the cover, and his price for the cover was something I could afford. Let me just tell you what the story here. This woman right here, her name is Jennifer Poehler. Her dad is murdered by mobsters, and in the afterlife, he asks the spirit to send some help to protect her because the mobsters are after her now too, thinking that he shared something with her. And the spirit agrees to do it, but says the price of the protection is that she has to go out and use the power that he gives her to kill the mobsters. And the power is to make the characters in a deck of cards come alive. So what you see right here are the characters who are the hearts, the Jack of Hearts, the King of Hearts, and the Queen of Hearts here.
The royal flush.
And just to let you know, the Queen of Hearts, her actual name is Judith. That is actually the queen that she was based on. The Jack, his name is Lahir, but I just call him Lee for short. And the king is second here. I believe the king is Charles. So I'm using all their traditional names here. Okay, let me move on here to. But yeah, I'll just say that he did such a nice job with the cover, and the cover is.
It's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, I think that's the most important page in a comic book to really grab people's attention, and he absolutely knocked it out of the park. The SUV in the back here that's all in flames. That actually is something in the comic book. It was the last thing added, and he was kind of like, "Look, you need a He was telling me, "Look, you need a background," and I'm like, "I can't think of anything. Let me, work on it." And a day later, I'm like, "Hey, yeah, it's a car blowing up. Why not? That would work perfectly." So, at any rate, okay.
Can't argue with that.
No, this actually is the comic book artist, my artist for all the other pages, Marcos Lima. He is in Brazil. U.S. has a 4-to-1 exchange rate with Brazil, so I could afford him. This is the ink for page 1, and what you've got here, the big guy in the middle is the head mobster. His name is Johnny Ricca. The two guys on the sides are sort of his plumbers or his his buttons. This is actually the opening page. They're getting ready here to shoot Jennifer's dad. Jennifer's dad's name is Larry. The guy on the left here is Jack Tessio, and the guy on the right is his brother Marco Tessio. And I'll show you the coloring here. This is Lenore King is my colorist. We'll get to her in a minute. Now, if you go back, you'll notice a difference between this page and the ink. The ink, Johnny is holding up a hand with a cigar here.
Can you zoom a little bit?
Yeah.
There we go.
You can see his hand and a cigar right here. When Lenore colored it, it's not here anymore because when he colored it, it actually looked like something was coming out of the ear of Marco Tessio right here. So I'm like, yeah. I don't want anything in here where, the first, what I certainly didn't want on the first page was something along the lines of, people going, what is that? What is that? I just want them to, focus on what's going on and not have a distraction. So I actually had her color it out, and it worked out well here. This what is for anyone who wants to know, what is tilt? It is a mental state in poker during which emotion dictates your play instead of logic and reason. I'm a big poker player, and tilt usually happens when you're way ahead in the hand. Someone can catch only one of two cards to beat you. They've got like a 5% chance to win, and they catch it, and it angers you. And then you start playing, instead of playing good poker, you start playing with anger and emotion, and it's a great way to lose a lot of money fast. I chose tilt because that is the character arc of the main character, Jennifer. It's a very emotional one. When she first learns that she has to use the characters in the deck of cards to kill the mobster, she's like, no way I can do that. She eventually agrees to do it for reasons that I'll get to here in just a minute. But when she first does it, first time she does it, she's scared to death, ends up peeing in her pants, throwing up, and then over time that goes away, and she actually starts to get off on the adrenaline rush with it. And that down the road will have consequences as well. But that's her character arc, going from a scared little kitten to someone who actually is just loves the adrenaline. It becomes kind of an adrenaline junkie. All righty, moving on here. This is actually where she starts to get her motive. She's watching the news. Again, lovely coloring here by Lenore, the red hair. And she sees Johnny Ricca, who's had the charges against him for her dad's murder have been dismissed. And she sees him on the news, and he's being all boastful and cocky. And in this scene, once it gets lettered, he's going to be saying here, and, I don't have time for this. In 2 weeks, I'm celebrating my 60th birthday, and I'm going to celebrate. All right. And that is then enough to, once Jennifer sees that, she's like, screw this son of a bitch murdered my dad. Hey, I'm ready to give this a go and kill the mobsters. And so, all right, that's her motivation. A couple pages earlier is this page. This is the page where Larry Poehler is now in the afterlife, as I say here, the spirit realm, talking to a spirit, begging him to send her protection. And he says, he's talked to the spirit before, and the spirit says, yeah, I'm going to do it for a price. And Larry's like, no. And the spirit says, fine, then I'm done. I'm going. And Larry says, wait. And he finally gives in. He says, fine, okay. And the spirit agrees to give Jennifer the power to make the characters in the deck of cards come alive. Now, what is great, what I really like about this panel is that it's part of the kind of give and take with your artists, in that when I thought that this was the spirit realm, I'm thinking of something kind of like heaven, kind of misty with white and some gold. And Lenore King, she thought it was a more foreboding scene, which it is really. And so she colored it this nice kind of blue violet, very dark, and gave the spirit this nice his sash and his little cape here, this and crown colored it blood red. There was initially some gold on his, I think, the belt here, and I'm like, no, color it all blood red. It's great. So, she had a different idea, ran with it, and it came out so much better than what I had in mind. And that's one of the things I really liked about this process, is that, you have one idea in your mind, but the artist comes up with something different. And more often than not, it's better than what, at least for me, what I had envisioned. Okay. Here's Lenore. Oh yeah. Nice photo. But I'm sorry, guys. She is engaged, but I tell you, if her fiance ever screws up, I'm on the first plane to Austin. Let me tell you. Okay, moving on here. This is I think page 17. So far, just to let everyone know, the a couple things here. First, all pay 32 pages. 32 page issue 1 is 32 pages. All pages have been sketched in ink, and half the pages up to 16 have been colored now. I'm sending up to page 10 has been lettered, and page 11 through 16, they will be probably in the next 2 or 3 days. So I'm going to be going into the campaign with half the comic completely finished, and the idea is to have the comic ready to go to the printer by the time my campaign ends. And this is a good time for me to tell everyone that first time on YouTube, tell everyone that my campaign will be launching a week from today, March the 21st. So that's when you will be able to buy it. And this is a reason why you should sign up for it, because the people who have signed up on my email list, they are almost always the ones who find this stuff out first. When I start releasing new art to promote it, like on Twitter and YouTube pages, I always release it to the people who sign up first, because they've done me the courtesy, the niceness of actually signing up for the comic book. Yesterday, I sent out a tweet saying that I was going to be on the show, and just asked them all to keep it secret that I was going to launch on March 21st. I was going to announce it publicly here first, but the folks on my email list were the first to know. So that's a reason you should sign up. In the next week, you'll be the first to see some of the completed art for the poster. I guess I should also talk about some of the perks here that you'll be able to buy. The most important one is actually toilet paper. I'm going to be selling rolls of toilet paper as a perk because people seem to really value that right now, and
it is highly valuable.
Yes, and best of all, I've signed it, so you'll be getting signed toilet paper.
Signed toilet paper. Now, before we get too far, I want to bring something up with you. So you're going to launch next Saturday, the 21st. Now, I will bring this up because I feel like every first timer needs to hear this and understand what they're getting into. Indiegogo is mostly run by automation.
Mm-hmm.
If you launch or end on a weekend or holiday, it can be very difficult to get somebody from Indiegogo to talk to you if something goes wrong with the campaign.
Yeah. Like I was stuck in the loop where they were resending my money 6 to 7 times constantly without even I could not even like get an answer from them from an email, and they were still relaunching my money.
I have heard that as well, and I definitely plan on ending the campaign not on a weekday.
So. And I'm international. Every time they charge me $25. Oh
man! So.
But it goes for launching as well. We found out that people who launch on weekends as well, there's a tendency to end up in these like Sim said, it's pretty accurate. This loop where they're trying to send your money on a weekend when their banks are closed, and
it gets resent before they can even answer your email.
Yeah. So if I was you, and the bigger guys, this doesn't seem to affect because they can actually, these 6-figure guys, these guys that get well into the 5-figure range, can actually get an agent to talk to. But smaller guys, these campaigns that don't break 5 figures. It can be very difficult. So what I would recommend you do is launch Friday night on the 20th. You can, do it late Friday night, but then run through the weekend as your launch weekend, hit up all the streams you can and do it that way. But for your own sake, to make sure that you are going to get the best service that you deserve from Indiegogo, launch on a weekday.
Okay, well, I will certainly consider that. The thing is, I've promised another stream to actually launch it on their live stream on Saturday, but so I'll talk to that person and see what we can work out. But because that is good to know, and I may have to reconsider and launch it on Friday. So I will definitely take that under advisement. Thank you.
Yeah, try to see if you can reschedule that. Whoever it was that you were planning on launching with.
And by 5-figure, we mean over 20K, not 10K, over 20K.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be a big money making campaign to get assigned an agent at Indiegogo, as it were. So just to be on the safe side, looking out for your best interest to make sure that you get your money on time, because I'm sure you want your money for this book. Launch on a weekday. Make sure it's not a holiday weekday. That's why you see a lot of these guys do, like New Comic Book Wednesday as their go-to launch day. Friday nights is a big one because Fridays are paydays for people. Definitely take that into consideration, man. I don't want you to be up shit creek when the campaign closes and you're trying to get paid.
Let me see what I can do. I really appreciate that advice. Thank you. This is This is why I love Comicsgate, because I've just, my first time out has gone so much smoother because there are so many people on Comicsgate willing to share their knowledge with a first timer like me, and they don't know me from Adam, not Adam Post, just Adam in general. And
Adam Friended?
Yeah, someone like that. And I'm so appreciative, Comicsgate people for that. All the advice they've given me, and I know this has gone so much smoother because of that. So thank you very much.
I mean, we try to make this as easy as possible for I've been around for well over a year, and I've had my hands in quite a few campaigns and been behind the scenes and heard. There's a list of creators who this has happened to, that they launched on a weekend or it ended on a weekend, and they fought like hell to get their money from Indiegogo. Luckily, like you said, you've got most of this book is finished. But a lot of guys out there were depending on their funding, to get this book done. They had a little bit of startup money, but they didn't have it all. So they were banking on that Indiegogo money to, fund their project. That's kind of the whole point of this, to fund your project. So
it was the same thing for me. Like my book was mostly done. I was working on it, but waiting 4 months to get your Indiegogo money, like even if there's not like a big part of it that's yours, it's still like at least 2 to 3K.
Yeah.
We are sorry, guys.
And don't get me wrong, I certainly understand why people do that. I mean, because getting a comic book funded is expensive. I mean, it's it's not cheap.
That little Indiegogo money that you make, it's to buy that extra time. I'm like, okay, right now this is my main project. It's like, okay, now I can concentrate just this. This is priority number one.
So
what were you going to say, Rob? Go ahead.
Well, I think I launched I think the same day as Literature Devil, and it might have been the same as Drew, like Captain Love.
Captain Love Drew. Dr. Drew Ish.
Yeah, so I had the same. I saw those guys talk about it. I had the same problem they did, where Indiegogo said that they were gonna distribute the funds in this 1 week period, and I didn't get it. They didn't do it until the very. It was like they said it was coming the week of December 6th, but I ended up getting it the 13th or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, you just definitely something to watch out for. Take a second to address the chat here. We've got a couple newcomers that have slid in here. We got Deltaverse Comics says, "Hello, my Comicsgate brethren." Hello, hail, welcome. Ink Spots is here too. Black Daddy's back. We got Zaid Comics as well. Hail everyone! Thank you guys for coming back. Or if you missed the first stream, we did get struck. We are on. We are continuing. Nothing's going to stop us.
Nope. We never close.
So you said, Doc, you said this is going to be a 32-page book.
Yes.
You're launching tentatively sometime in the next week.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your long plan for this? Is this a one shot? Is it a mini series? Is this going to be an ongoing? What's your plans?
This particular storyline is going to be 3 issues. I've already got the issues 2 and 3 mapped out, and I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks I'll actually start the script on issue 2. And then once I get through those issues, I've already got ideas for another series. So, starting with issue 4. So I'm looking long term. I'm hoping to get at least 2 issues, issue 2 out this year as well. That's kind of why I put all the funded it up front, because I want to be able to go to the printer within days of ending the campaign and just get stuff out and then get on to issue 2. So that's my plan for this. This is going to be a 3-issue one. I've got it already mapped out where I'm going to go with this, and that's about it. And let me just I was talking about perks. So you're going to have a poster by Lenore, and I'm going to show you kind of a version of that here in a minute, slightly updated. People have seen that one before on my my YouTube channel. I live streamed on the poster. That's going to be finished early next week. So if you subscribe, you will see the finished version first. Also, since this is about cards, one of the perks will be a deck of cards, and on the back of the cards will be Jennifer, very sexy, non-approved body type, and she will, it'll say tilt on there, and it will say the caption will be "Is justice or revenge" in the cards. Let's see, what other perks? Well, the 4 top perks and the ones that are going to be most expensive will be, you will have the option of having yourself drawn into the issue 2 of the comic as a villain. Why as a villain? Because I will have you killed by the good guys. The lowest tiers, and the lowest tier, and there'll be 2 options for this. You will be either stabbed in the back or have your throat slashed. The second most expensive tier is you will actually get to shoot some of the good guys, but then you will have a dagger thrown into your eye to kill you. And the final tier is you will actually get to shoot the main character, not kill her, but wound her. And then one of the jacks will throw his axe at you to chop off your head from the nose up. So there will be this panel of you going, and then the next panel you will only see your face. You'll just see this. from below. So those will be the most expensive tiers. And again, if you sign up, I will be letting you know the prices of those before I go live and give you detailed description this coming week of what those tiers will involve. So a lot of opportunities to get yourself drawn into this issue 2 and get yourself killed. So,
nice.
When was the last time you got yourself killed in a comic book? So
well, Kino Subway here, he is the man, as it were. He's trying to usurp Cecil as most killed in Comicsgate books. He's backed nearly every tier that has a drawn in to be killed tier. So he's definitely got his eye on that. Let's see. We got Nacho Fuago. He says, that's all great stuff to hear as a backer of over 50 campaigns. Make sure to talk about how it will be ready to go and in backers' hands fast in your streams and launch. Yes, he brings up a great point. That's going to work in your benefit as
Not
far
only
as
is
backers.
he a backer, he's also starting his own show and doing CG reviews and stuff. So,
yeah. But that point of that quick turnaround, especially as a relatively unknown creator, that's going to help gain backers. That you're not going to make them wait 6 months to a year for that book. I think Drew Love, he did it great. He had that book ready to go. He went through his 60-day campaign. Anybody who backed in that 60-day campaign, he said you would get it before Christmas. He made that promise. He delivered on that promise, and then he kept. It's the Captain Love is still in demand. You can still get your book, and he's got the extra copies to where if you back it, he's going to ship it out on that next available shipping day.
It took 2 weeks, and I got my copy, and I'm in Canada. So.
Yeah.
I've got my copy right here. In fact, so
I love that book. I can't wait for book 2 to come out.
Yeah, well, I do CG reviews live stream on Tuesdays as well on Comics and Variety is my YouTube channel, and we do live streams, CG reviews. Captain Love is going to be coming up here in a couple of weeks. We're going to review that. So
awesome. We also got
me. I'd just like to add one thing, though.
Sure.
People need to be understanding on one thing. It's like it's easier for somebody like me, right, to have to get the book going, right, before the campaign and have a chunk of it done beforehand, right, without that much cost.
Yeah, you're the artist.
I'm trying to give like a little wink to my fellow here writers, right. They have to invest a lot of money, especially if they get a good artist on that fucking book. Right?
Yeah.
So just for the people that are not aware of it, that a good artist goes between $100 to $200 a page.
Yep.
Made the calculation of a 48-page minimum type of thing.
Yep.
That's a minimum of $5,000 and up. Just to get the artist drawing the book, and
that's just drawing the book. That's not coloring.
Then you have another $1,500 about to $2,000 of lettering.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the coloring. Mm-hmm. So keep in mind that any book, the minimum usually it's $7,800 and something to fund one book. And that's from
so you got these guys
that's from drawing, coloring, and lettering. And the $7,000, that's the low end. That's like a $100 a page.
And that's before printing and shipping.
Yeah, exactly. So you got all these campaigns, that made under $5,000. Those guys are paying out of pocket to get those books in your hands.
And obviously, it's good to be having a head start, but people have to be understanding of people starting. Yeah. It's like gradually as I go. Like my plan, like Adam knows it because when we discussed it the first time, my plan is by the 4th book. I came in with a 4-book plan, and I knew that by the 4th book, I should be able to be having my book ready before my next campaign. I should be able to build that momentum. That right now I could just go, okay, my book is more than half done. Let's start promoting. Let's start this, and by the end of the campaign, I should be done. And boom.
Yeah. Well, and I would just also say that, everybody has a different tolerance for risk. I mean, I was happy to fund mine ahead of time because look, I enjoy risk. I enjoy the adrenaline rush that comes with it.
Like you said, you're a big poker player, so
yeah. I love being in situations where things could go to shit, but because it pumps my adrenaline. I love that rush.
Me, I'm the calculated risk type of guy. Yeah, I like to take a risk, but I like to be educated.
Oh yeah, very much.
You got to make sure you know what you're doing with that risk.
Yes, absolutely. But not everybody is going to be as comfortable with that. And one of the things about Indiegogo is if you don't meet your goal, you can always refund people. And if you haven't spent much on your comic book, you haven't sunk a lot of costs into it yet. So that's some people are on the other spectrum of being comfortable with risk. Oh, and I should say that if you end up in my car when I'm driving for Uber, risk goes out the window. My love of risk goes out the window. I am only concerned with the passenger, so I drive. So
that's a good asterisk on that.
My risk is compartmentalized. Working on my comic, playing cards, love the risk.
And me, I'd like to add another thing.
Uber,
please, people,
not so much.
Do add an extra 3 to 4 months to your delivery date. Like it may sound like absurd to people looking at it. But you're gonna calculate how you can do it. Your factors. You forget to calculate the outside factors, like 4 months of waiting for Indiegogo money, or
or coronavirus stopping printing in China.
All that type of shit. There's a lot of factors that you cannot calculate. Right?
Yeah. And then always, because then if you deliver early, then people are super satisfied. When you deliver late, even if it's a month late, people are like, God damn it, where's this book? How come I don't have this book yet? Yeah. So I definitely would always. Yeah, updates are very, very important too. Make sure you update on your campaign page to let your backers know what is going on every step of the way. Once a week, I think is a good rate of updates.
Okay.
See it like your mistress. If you don't check up on her like at least once or twice a week, she gets worried.
Good advice, Sim. Let's see. We got Lenore is back. She says, I'm here now. Had to eat some food. Yay, tilt. Yay. Chris Evans says, Froggo is doing that too. I got to make more videos then. Dang it.
Here's the Lenore picture again. Yay.
She looks like such a
Froggo.
sweetheart. I was
talking about you, Chris.
Oh. Okay. So Froggo needs to step it up.
Yep.
Let's see. Martin Young says, Art City Comics still can't thank you enough for your help. Thanks, brother. You're welcome, Martin. Been looking over his script for his upcoming take on Little Red Riding Hood, which I think is going to be a blast for people.
Is he doing a horror?
It is, I would say, horror mixed with action. It is gory. It is action-packed and very, very entertaining. He's got a good sense of humor.
It reminds me of a story I wrote when I was a kid, like for school.
And
I turned the Red Riding Hood into like a Buffy-ish type of. She survived the wolf. She dominated the wolf. So
Very
she's
cool.
walking around. She was walking around like the Red Riding Hood, but she was a slayer, and she had the big fucking werewolf as a fucking pet.
Nice. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I want to get Martin on the show to kind of get people excited. He does have a mailing list set up on his it's on his Twitter page, but I definitely, Martin, you're on my short list of interviewees. So look out for that in the next couple of weeks, man. I want to get some more eyes on your book. We got the Mr. Yonofui is here. Says Sim the Wise. We also got Edwin
brother.
the Ace. Hail Ace. He says, # update your effing books.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
I'll read it properly. Update your fucking books.
Papa Kedesu says, treat it like your mistress. I got to pin that quote to my desk.
Hey,
Fucking ink spots. I've never dominated a wolf, but I've rode a few cougars.
I think it means RODE, right?
He does.
Yeah.
Ink spots. I went on his channel last Monday night. You talk about a degenerate ass stream. No Pogs though, but I believe we talked plenty about Pogs.
That sounds like my kind of place.
Yeah, give him a sub. He's done pretty well for for an upcoming YouTube channel. He's grown at a pretty decent rate so far. I think he said like 25 subs a week or something like that, which is, I mean, that's pretty damn good in the YouTube world.
Oh, by the way, Adam, did you check the DM I sent you?
I did. We'll go ahead and we'll switch gears back a little bit here.
Dude, it's almost $2.50 for 3 squares, and he sold 223 in 1 hour.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this in the first part of this stream that is no longer available. But we were talking about the toilet paper crisis, and
it's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. People are selling it on eBay. Let's see, where's that tab? Here we go. Charmin Ultra Soft toilet paper, 5 squares. Buy it now for $3 for 5 squares of TP.
Yeah, and he sold 223 in 1 hour.
Good bullshit.
What a racket,
man!
I mean, I'm in the wrong business. I'm like trying to make comic books. I should be fucking trying to sell toilet paper.
Some guy was out there trying to sell a whole roll for like around $100,000, and I thought, oh, that's ridiculous. He'll never get that. But now I'm not so sure.
Mm-hmm.
Inkspot says, no, I'm illiterate, so I meant the road you drive on. So speaking of upselling, that's actually another good segue into this article that Doc shared with me right before we went live here. This came out of the UK. Gotta love them fucking Brits, man. So this kid is definitely an entrepreneur. The UK teen suspended from school for charging students for hand sanitizer. Now that doesn't sound too crazy, right? Until we read on and realize that he was charging per squirt. And let me just say, I just really wanted to say per squirt.
Yeah, I tell you, if I didn't actually have a son, this kid would be basically my favorite kid in the world right now. I mean, that's entrepreneurship.
It is. I mean, this kid, he's seen an opening and he was like, you know what? I'm going to make some fucking money. So it says here, a British teen was suspended from school this week for selling his classmates squirts of hand sanitizer to protect them from contracting the coronavirus. Now, it sounds kind of altruistic, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oliver Cooper, 13, bought a tub of Johnson's child hand wash from a Tesco grocery store for £160. What is that? £1.60? I don't know how you say that. £1.60. Anyway, about $2 American, real money. After hearing about the coronavirus outbreak on the radio, the young entrepreneur, see, they even call him an entrepreneur, who attends Dixon's Unity Academy in Leeds, offered some to his friends who suggested that he start a business on the playground selling squirts for 50 pence each, around 65 cents. 2 other kids, the outlet reported. He did just that and ended up making about £9 before he got in trouble for offering some to his teacher. It's ridiculous, really, Oliver told Metro. I asked the teacher if she wanted any, and she said, no, I've already got some, but you're not allowed to do that. Why not? Oliver's mom, Jenny Tompkins, posted about what her son had done on Facebook, along with a photo of the boy with his back turned to the camera. This is a picture of my teenage son just getting in from school, she wrote Wednesday. Why is he getting in from school at 10:53 a.m., you ask? Schools don't finish until 3 p.m. She explained that the little turd, quote, the little turd, was caught charging classmates for sanitizer to protect themselves from the bloody coronavirus. Very hard to discipline this behavior when his dad phones him from work to call him a fucking legend, she added. Tompkins told Metro she didn't consider her son's actions an excludable offense and told him off, but wouldn't be punishing him any further. No, you shouldn't punish the kid any further. I mean, that's fucking funny. I'm definitely that dad. I'd have been like,
that's like
dude,
a high five one.
Yeah,
like, hey, kid, yeah, high five. Don't do it again.
Yeah,
because the rules is quite simple. On school grounds, only the school is allowed to make money. Period. It's every school That's the.
I like how he spent his money here on a pack of Doritos on the way home, and he's going to spend the rest on a kebab. Yeah, and that's like, well, depends on what kind of kebab you're referring to. You spend money on getting your kebab to squirt, that's a good investment.
The kids like this are my favorite.
I have an experience with
that. So yeah, Rots and Glory says I charge per squirt, very profitable. Triple R says some guy stole a neighbor's propane tank at my brother's place. Cops showed up with guns drawn. Damn.
Interesting.
Holy fuck. Yeah, Black Daddy says high five and tell him to do it off campus. Joseph King says future Steve Jobs right there. Inkspot says, why is nobody talking about cockpox? Way more dangerous, and you can only get it from drinking gravy out of buttholes, so it's spreading like wildfire.
Well, this is why.
This is why you got to go sub to Inkspots, because you get this kind of content on the daily. Oh my god, it's fucking awesome. I would have definitely given this kid a high five and been like, cut me in, son, or you're buying groceries this week.
I thought his parents sounded pretty cool, but I am against price gouging during a crisis.
That's true. Yeah, don't gouge prices. But yeah, I think his parents, I think, responded pretty appropriately.
I like the fact that the dad took the time. Dude, you're a fucking legend. Don't do it again.
So let's take we'll take our second commercial break here, and we have a celebrity guest co-host today. Of course, is Mr. Rob Casy of Cyborg USA fame. So, Rob, will you tell us a little bit about Cyborg USA?
Sure. Well, let me tell you about the story. So Cyborg USA is a story of Super Team USA. They're America's elite athletes. They stop a terrorist attack at the World Team Championships, and then the terrorists maim them in a horrific train collision, and they are reanimated as cyborg super killers for the U.S. government. That's Cyborg USA. We ended our campaign, I guess, November last year. We put on here, this is like apropos to like Sim's comments earlier, that we were going to fulfill in January. So we're a little bit behind that. But we do have everything together for fulfillment. And I was going to be working on fulfillment this weekend. And I had to leave town. I had to skip town because New York is in a state of emergency. So I am a little bit delayed on fulfillment going forward, but you can still buy the comics on Indiegogo. And for that, I'll open up to like questions and roasting. How about that?
Yeah, but I mean, so before we get into the roasting and how coronavirus is ruining Comicsgate, so this you're still available. You've got you got it limited down to just the one tier here,
right? So just to say that what we're offering is 2 comic books. So these are both been printed. They're the first one's 20 pages, the second one's 24 pages. And it's like the origin story of Cyborg USA and the continuing adventures. And our hope, when we were talking about like how expensive it is for writers, and putting these projects together and tolerance for risk. Like when I started thinking about this project, I decided what I wanted to do was like do a 12-issue run. And I tried to figure out like how am I going to crowdfund this? How am I going to do it? Who am I going to get for the art on it? And we ended up getting this great artist, Pablo Romero, who has this excellent, like sort of 80s kind of style, at least in my book.
I'll back that comment 100%. He's got a wonderful 80s vibe.
So that's like, I think that really sells the tone and the spirit of this like story. He did all the art for issues 1 and 2. We're just like really lucky to have him. That's as far as like we were really willing to go with the first crowdfund. We wanted to kind of roll it out and kind of soft test a bunch of things, and it has been a huge learning experience. And I'm so excited to like get these books into people's hands because I think they're really excellent. I'm really proud of them. So.
Man, the colors look good too.
Yeah. That's Kanan White's artist. The colors on that one. That's Kid Icarus on that cover. So that's the cover of issue 2. This is the cover of issue 1. We printed them both with Spot UV, which was a little bit more expensive, but it makes the covers really pop. And so these are really high quality books, really high value that we put into them. So you guys are even though $25 for 2 books is a lot of money, we're putting a lot of money into these books, and we hope people feel like they got their money's worth.
It's pretty much the Comicsgate standard, I mean, everybody, most people, the majority of people put a lot into these books. These aren't just your standard Marvel DC floppies that you see on your store shelves. These are true collector's items. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that these books won't be reprinted in this format again. As far as cover or cover stock, page stock, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. So what we wanted to do with this campaign was offer these books, issues 1 and 2, in a limited 500 issue print run, and kind of launch these characters. Our dream and our goal with this is to continue this property forward, like I said, through 12 issues. So hopefully those books that you get will be collector's items. As we build the audience for the show or for this comic, and it grows. So
you're already thinking ahead. You're already you're planning out the TV series.
I'm thinking about it now. We're at a point where I'm thinking about it. How about that?
That'll work.
Yeah.
Is the video? Which is the video on here? Is it the good one?
The video is. I think that's the longer one where I'm talking about it, so you could play it or not. I think it's 2.5 minutes. It's not the theme song. The theme song, I think, is and I can link you that if you want to play that.
Yeah, sure. I fucking love that theme song.
Yeah, I do too. All right, let me find that. I'll put it in the chat for you. You can kind of vamp for me while I look for it.
Vamping. Yeah, make sure you guys, if you haven't got on this the Cyborg USA train, do so. He's got, there's still a bit left. He's got 97 out of 350 claimed on the Comics 2-pack tier that he's got left. But this is definitely a book that you don't want to miss out on. Like I said, Pablo Romero art. He's an amazing artist. He does great work pissing off the SJWs with his very risque drawings that he does of the mainstream characters. I think he did Miss Marvel one that really pissed people off. Sam, what were some of he did a couple of them, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. He didn't.
Miss Marvel with the porn star instead.
Yeah. The Mia Khalifa Miss Marvel. That's right.
That's what got him a lot of attention during our campaign. So he's great. He's I praise him a lot on these shows, and it's so worth it because it's I don't know. He just I think what I love the most about him beyond his style apparently being perfect is just his sense of humor. We wrote a lot of this Cyborg USA isn't really a comedy, but it is satirical. It has it is funny, So and his work really brings that to life. It is it's really funny. He has a really good sense of humor and just a really great attitude. And I think that's the best thing about Comicsgate is I don't know, all these guys, well, not all of them. I guess it's sort of shifted over time, but most people have really great attitudes,
All right, we got the theme song that we are going to share with you guys here.
Cyborg USA, Cyborg USA, they got the skills to pay the bills and help the president along the way. Cyborg USA, Cyborg USA, they got street smarts and lots of parts, and they made it robotic ways. They all died in a train crash, and their bodies were torn apart. Resurrected by Hunter Rick. Now they got a brand new start. Yeah, Cyborg USA. Cyborg USA. They got the skills to pay the bills. They do our will designed to kill. skill, and they made it good. USA, USA, USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go,
I
brother.
love it, dude.
Nice.
Dope.
I think a good theme song it's necessary, man. In
Oh,
We there?
you okay, Adam? No. It would seem that Adam just decided that he was freezing there.
Oh, he's frozen up.
Yep. Maybe he'll be back. Maybe he won't. Hopefully he will.
I mean,
there you go.
There he is.
oh, that was weird.
Yep, you
Yep.
froze up. You're back.
My back.
Yep.
You're good to go.
He was back.
Yep. Froze again. Shit. It's coronavirus problem.
Yeah, probably.
It infected his bandwidth, I guess.
Mhm.
Maybe you need to put your mask back on, bro.
Adam, what happens if he's running the stream? So what happens if he freezes up? It seems like we're still broadcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably going to freeze up for like a few seconds or something until, to see if he doesn't have connection. Yep. We can. But you're kind of botting out. Oop, refresh.
He's refreshing it.
You're good now.
Looks like, yeah.
Welcome back.
Just not my day, I guess.
You're back, man. So
I'm back.
thanks for running the song.
So Cyborg USA.
Did the song play out? Did it play out?
Yep. We heard it.
Okay. All right.
You just started freezing when you started talking, eh? It just went whoop.
All right. Well, at least the song played out. That's the most important part. Well, that was pretty much. I mean, it's about I think all I had for today.
I have a few.
Didn't mean to get the first stream struck.
I have a few things of art that I haven't shown yet. If you still want to see a.
Here we go again.
Yeah, he's frozen.
What? Yeah, I don't know. I guess my internet's getting all fucky on me. So I guess this is a good spot to just go ahead and we'll call the stream here. Thank you guys for coming out this morning and bearing with me through all these numerous difficulties. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys for all of your patience and hanging out with us this morning. Make sure, get on that mailing list for Doc Hogg. Get your Cyborg USA if you haven't already. And if you got a couple extra bucks, I know Alejandro Garcia would appreciate any kind of donations to his GoFundMe so he can get a new vehicle and get to work again. That's not a good place to be. So Comicsgate's good for helping people out when they need it. And hopefully everybody kind of steps up and helps dude out too. Cause I know he's Comicsgate. He's one of the true CGers. Not like that Sci-Fi Designs guy who was begging for money earlier this week. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great weekend. To the panel here, thank you guys for coming on this morning, waking up and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously,
Yeah,
stay in touch. Doc, once you get launched and everything, I'd definitely love to have you back and see if we can't get some backers for you.
Anytime, I'd love it.
All right,
Yeah,
hail everybody.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, my pleasure. Hail everybody. Have a great weekend.
Hail.
And back blood hunt.
Oh yeah, and back blood hunt, of course. Everybody knows that by now.
Yeah, it's closing at the end of the month.
That's true. There's only a couple weeks left. We just broke 8,000.
Yeah.
Let's break 10 by the end of the month. So you can actually say that those extra pages were.
Yeah. We hit the 8005.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.